I want to start the return of today's show with these two clips of our brother, the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., since we're speaking in the week of his birthday and the week of his celebratory day. Let's get into these two clips and then we're going to talk about some shit, some stuff. I'm going to cut down on the cussing too this time. Welcome back to Unorthodox Logic with Marv. Let's get it.
Struggle and all the achievements, we must face the fact, however, that the Negro still lives in the basement of the great society. He is still at the bottom despite the few who have penetrated to slightly higher levels. Even where the door has been forced partially open, mobility for the Negro is still sharply restricted. There's often no bottom at which to start, and when there is, there's almost no room at the top. In consequence, Negroes are still impoverished aliens in an affluent society. They are too poor even to rise with the society, too impoverished by the ages to be able to ascend by using their own resources. The Negro did not do this himself, it was done to him. For more than half of his American history, he was enslaved. Yet he built the spanning bridges, the grand mansions, the sturdy docks, and stout factories of the South. His unpaid labor made cotton king and established America as a significant nation in international commerce. Even after his release from chattel slavery, the nation grew over him, submerging him. It became the richest, most powerful society in the history of man, but it left the Negro far behind. So we still have a long, long way to go. At the very same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. But not only did they give the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize their farms. Not only that, today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. And this is what we are faced with, and this is the reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we are coming to get our check.
Powerful words. Words that still ring true today. You see, we have people amongst us, among our midst, that claim to be black, claim to be pro-black, claim to be for the black people, but for some strange reason, they don't look like it. They don't talk like it, and they don't act like it. If you scared of the consequences of speaking up for your people while everybody else is openly speaking up for theirs, if you're scared of the consequences of what people may think of you for speaking up for your people, you're not unapologetically black. You only black by skin. You ain't black by mind. Your mind has been hijacked. Your mind has been co-opted. Your mind has been beaten into submission. And honestly, there's probably nothing you can do about it. If your mind has told you speaking up for black people is a problem, or if you're scared to speak up for black people because what may or may not happen to you at your job or with your friends, your white friends, or whoever you think you may offend, if your mind is telling you that's a problem, you're not unapologetically black. Now, I know we like to all say, hey, we got to go along and get along. We got this minority coalition. We got this people of color coalition. And we got all this other stuff. But nah. If you scared to speak up for your own people, well, we know where you stand. You see, 2020 was a trying and showing year. It showed us all a lot of things. It showed us all where everyone stands. We know now, with the inauguration being today, we know now where every single person stands. And now that we know that, we need to act accordingly. We need to act accordingly. You know, as of January 21st, January 20th, 2021, you know exactly where every single person in your life stands. I told y'all, shout out to the first time listeners. Shout out to the returning listeners. I appreciate y'all. I told y'all in 2020 that we are going to have to leave people behind. That includes mother, father, brother, sister, cousin, auntie, uncle, grandma, grandpa, nieces, nephews. Correct your kids. But I said we were going to have to leave some people behind. So as of January 20th, 2021, you should know where every single person in your life stands when it comes to the empowerment of black people. When it comes to the empowerment of black American people. You should know where every single person in your life stands. If you don't know, you are being woefully ignorant and you are going to be left behind. If you're confused, if you are befuddled, or whatever the case may be, you will be left behind. Because at this point, it is impossible to not know where every single person stands when it comes to the progression of black Americans. If you're not going to be unapologetically black, if you're not going to do what it takes for the progression of black people, including your black children, your black family, whatever the case may be, if you're not willing to do whatever it takes for that, then clearly we know where you stand. You see, in those two clips I played in the beginning of the show, it was our good brother, Dr. Martin Luther King. I love playing his other stuff. I don't like to play that I Had a Dream stuff. Excuse me. I'm trying to stop the cursing. I don't like playing that I Had a Dream stuff. I like to play those type of speeches I played. That we coming for our check. That whole the progress of black people and how they've been treated in America. That's the kind of Martin Luther King I like to hear. None of that other stuff. So the point is, my point is, the overall point is, we live in a society, we live in a world that has shown you its true ugly nature. We live in a world that has shown you exactly where they stand, and they are unapologetic about it. Therefore, we need to match that level of energy and be unapologetic about where we stand in our pro-blackness. Now, if anybody says you being pro-black is you being anti anything else, that is the clean-cut version to show you that they're anti-black. Because anybody that care about you, anybody that give a damn about you, will never have a problem with you expressing your proudness for your black skin, especially knowing how America has treated black people historically. Black Americans get the bottom of the barrel, the basics, the crumbs of every single thing that America has to offer. We turn lemons into lemonade, peanuts into peanut butter, and every time we do it, someone else comes in to co-opt what we're doing and benefit from our labor, our hard work, our clout. It never fails. It's been happening since we were brought over in chains. It's been happening since the Aboriginal people were put in chains because black people were already here along with the Indians, what they call Native Americans. Native Americans weren't just red-skinned, is what they like to call them, red-skinned people. Native Americans were actually black as well. There's plenty of pictures for proof. We weren't all brought over in chains. Now, I did trace back my lineage. I was brought over in chains. Stemming my majority of my lineage started in Nigeria, and I was brought over in the transatlantic slave trade. I can confirm that. Brought over to South Carolina, North Carolina, shipped down to Alabama. Once we were free from slavery, family stayed in Alabama, eventually moved up north. I can trace it all back. I was brought over in chains. But foundational black Americans are, descendants of chattel slavery and the natives that were already here. Native blacks that were already here. That makes you a foundational black American. Having a parent that descends, or being a descendant, whether it be both parents or half your parents, both my parents were, are descendants of this. Being a descendant of chattel slavery, whether your parents were or your ancestors were native of this land or brought over in chains, being a descendant of that makes you foundational black American. Immigrating after slavery was over with makes you a non-foundational black American. So if your family immigrated over here after slavery, after chattel slavery, and shit got popping, and it was okay for y'all to get your asses over here, which is most likely in the 40s and 50s. If your family came over here after that, that means you are not a foundational black American. So if you're Haitian, Jamaican, or you know exactly what country you come from. I know I say Nigeria, but that's not a guarantee. I use the website to get the information, but that's not a guarantee. But let's just say, but if you have a cousin or you have family back in that country that you know of, and you can quickly trace a couple family members down and get the number to somebody overseas or whatever the case may be, you're most likely not foundational. So you don't have any type of claim to reparations. Martin Luther King said, "We coming to get our check." Martin Luther King said, "We coming to get our check." I need to understand that. So what has happened since our seasonal break? Because I think I'm going to start doing that. I know y'all, that was a long time, but I think it's healthy for me to take that kind of seasonal break. I don't know if I'm going to take it for as long, though. I think I might take like 2 weeks off in November, 2 weeks off in December, and then that'll be the extent of my time off throughout the year. So that'd be 4 weeks off, 48 weeks. That give you 48 episodes a year. as long as I don't miss any episodes, whatever the case may be. A minimal, if I do one a week, that'll give you 48 episodes. I might do 2, never to kill. Maybe there's some things that might come up. I'm going to talk about the American Skin movie today. I want to break that down. And I also want to talk about the president-elect, or now he's officially the president, Joe Biden's 100-day plan and how it affects black Americans. First, let's talk about the American Skin movie. I'm telling you now, if you are listening and you have not seen the movie, this will have spoilers. If you are listening and you have not seen the movie, this will have spoilers. In the notes, I'm going to give you a timestamp where you can skip to so you no longer have to hear the spoilers. I'm going to give you the information you need. You hear me? So, hold on. So, with that being said, this is how we gonna do it. The American Skin movie was a movie written by Nate Parker, helped produced by Spike Lee. It's about a black father who got pulled over in the neighborhood. His son ended up getting killed. 15-year-old son ended up getting killed. The black father, after a year and a half goes by, the police officer that killed his son did not get charged. So another kid comes to the father to do a documentary. They find out that information. And then next thing you know, the father kidnaps the documentary kids. Nate Parker's the father. He kidnaps the documentary kids, take them to a police station. They take over the police station. And they hold all the police officers hostage in that police station. He go kidnap the police captain, hold all the police officers hostage, put the police officer that killed his son on trial, and then it's dialogue and stuff like that goes through. So what happens is people love to fall for this. Do I think that this particular cop woke up today and say he's going to go out and kill someone? No, he didn't wake up that day and say he's going to go out and kill that specific child or that specific black person. But he wakes up every day hoping he gets the opportunity to kill one. So we need to stop this mentality saying, I don't think this person woke up this day and said they're going to go kill this person. Because you know how first degree murder, if you ever need to know how first degree murder goes, go back and listen to my episode, First Degree Trickery. I've broken that whole thing down. So it's hard to prove first degree murder. That's why I get suspicious when they charge these cops with first degree murder, because it's damn near impossible to prove that. Unless it's like serial killers and shit like that. Serial killers are the type that get the first degree murder charges because they the ones who they build a profile on, like, yo, you were looking for these kind of people and you actively went and searched for these kind of people. So, hold on, god damn. Hold on. So, with that being said, so Nate Parker's character is the father. Son got killed. They find out he didn't get charged. They get the mother to go on camera and tell people to stop the violence. Yada, yada, yada. So they do that little statement. That's the first thing they do is they go to the mother pleading for her to say, hey, stop the violence, make a statement, tell people stop the violence. You don't want them to do the violence, because they rioted after that happened. So what happened was the father ended up kidnapping the police chief, taking him to the police station, holding them all hostage, having the police officers put the officer that killed his son on trial. They have this intense dialogue, essentially, where the cop he comes out and straight up say, look, I profiled you and your son. You guys were in that neighborhood, and I profiled y'all. That's why we pulled y'all over, and unfortunately that resulted in the death of your son. So it just looked like, what pissed me off about the ending is, it seemed like Nate Parker's character essentially forgave the police officer. Now Omari Hardwick is in this movie, and he helps take over the police station. But it looks like Nate Parker's character forgave the police officer for killing his son. So they go out in solidarity, and as they're walking out, a sniper shoots Nate Parker in the head. So after he came out peacefully, after he made the kidnap, got what he wanted, didn't kill the cop like he should have, and then he pieces it up with the cop, and then they come out peacefully, he still dies. So my first reaction is like, yo, what the fuck, yo? Like, this is a dumbass fucking ending. You should have just killed the cop in the first place. And then it hit me. That's the message. See, what Nate Parker was saying is, hey, yo, you know, we what you thought he was saying was, hey, yo, we have to, you know, we put him on trial, we found out he's guilty, then what do? Are we going to become one of them? So that's the first message you think you're getting. But the real message that I saw was, whether you pieced it up with this motherfucker or not, they still gonna kill you, nigga. So you might as well do what's on your heart. If you felt like killing that cop was the right answer, kill that motherfucker. If you felt like forgiving him is the right answer, then guess what? You still another nigga, and they still gonna kill you. So that, and again, I gotta stop the curse words. I'm trying. I'm a work in progress, y'all. By the time we get in a couple months in, I'm gonna end up stopping. So you hear that kind of you see that kind of ending, and like that's the way I was thinking of it. I was kind of pissed because I'm like, yo, this is where you supposed to show us what we were supposed to do, and you didn't show us that. And I was like, wait, you did show us that. You know what I mean? It hit me after. I was like, oh, you showed us that for sure. You 100% showed us that, what happened with all that forgiving stuff. So, that was kind of the breakdown of American Skin. It has some hidden messages in there. It has some intense conversations. I don't want to completely ruin it for y'all, but I want to kind of get my point across. Let me know what y'all think of it. Comment on the post, things of that nature. Hit me on Twitter. UL with Marv. Unorthodox Logic with Marv on Facebook. Or on, you know what I mean? So hit me there. But that's the kind of gist I got of the actual movie. You see what I'm saying? So let's talk about Joe Biden's first 100 days, because I got it pulled up in my little screen. Dismiss. First 100 days is what he promised. All right. So let's see. He's going to, his response to COVID, issue mask mandate on federal property and interstate travel, extend nationwide restrictions on home evictions and foreclosures, continue to pause student loan payments, push for passage of $1.9 trillion COVID relief legislation package announced last week. That's him responding to COVID. Now, we're going to get into each one of these. I want to tell you the highlights, and then we're going to get into this shit. Overturning Trump's actions. Rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. End so-called Muslim ban on travel, which in 2017 restricted travel and immigration to the U.S. from Syria, Iran, Iraq, Sudan, Libya, Somalia, and Yemen, before adding Eritrea, Nigeria, Myanmar, Kyrgyzstan, and Tanzania in 2020. Why Nigeria? Klan said President. Oh wait, skip that. All right, here's his day one promises: COVID-19 response, rejoin the World Health Organization, immigration send bill to Congress for legislative immigration reform that will modernize our immigration system and give nearly 11 million undocumented immigrants, 11 million illegal immigrants, a roadmap to citizenship. Climate change. Sign executive order to formulate a plan to achieve 100% clean energy economy and net zero emission by 2050. By then, I'll be what? 2020, I was 30 more. I'll be 60 by then. Transgender rights. Repeal transgender military ban enacted by President Trump. Mr. Biden would also restore Obama-era guidance for transgender students in school to protect students' access to sports, bathrooms, locker rooms in accordance with their gender identity and environment. Enact an executive order to conserve 30% of America's land water by 2030. First 100 days. Economic recovery. Initiate Build Back Better economic recovery plan in February during the joint session of Congress. Released during the general election, the plan for spending trillions on American-made products, health services, and infrastructure updates. Climate. Organize a Climate World Summit to push world leaderships to more aggressively tackle climate change, specifically addressing global shipping and aviation emissions. This is one priority Mr. Biden has established does not require congressional approval. The new president also promised to pressure China to stop subsidizing coal and outsourcing pollution. So let me cover so far what I read, because I want to get into this. His day one promises. Let's go back to his day one promises, and then we're gonna go into step by step his COVID responses and his overturning Trump actions in the first 100 days. We're gonna get into all of this, so buckle up. I don't want y'all to lose. I don't want to lose y'all, but I gotta game y'all up. You hear me? All right. So let's go with the day one promises. COVID response. He wants to rejoin a health organization. He wants to initiate mask mandate on a federal property and interstate travel. Listen, COVID is going to be a thing whether we like it or not. The pandemic is not necessary. I do not think the pandemic is necessary because it has a 98% recovery rate. 98% recovery rate. No offense to the people that are dying. I hope those families seek peace and things of that nature. My condolences. But something that has a 98% COVID rate does not demand a pandemic. It looks like we're going to be moving into herd immunity at this point, or vaccination. So he's going to issue that mask mandate. I have no problem with that. I'm going to probably be wearing my mask because I don't want to catch COVID, if I'm being honest. It may have a 98% recovery rate, but it's a bitch to go through. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I am going to probably be wearing my mask in public for a while, for sure. Now, he said he's going to extend nationwide restrictions on home evictions and foreclosures. Landlords, I feel bad for y'all because people ain't paying y'all rent. It's been going on damn near a year. Y'all probably ain't been getting no rent money. And it's fucking up your money. But that's all right. Evict their ass as soon as this shit is over with. I don't know why people think landlords don't have a right to rent out their properties. Continue pause on student loan payments. I'm with that. You need to just straight out forgive the fucking student loans. The federal government owns it. Just forgive it. You wouldn't have to pause the shit. Push for a package of $1.9 trillion COVID relief. Let me go ahead and open that up. I want to open it up in a new tab and let y'all know what that is. Because a lot of people don't know what this. They just hear they're going to get their $1,400 on top of the $600 they already got. And then they're going to go ahead and move on from there. It's also going to extend. This is also going to extend unemployment benefits. So if you are a recipient of unemployment benefits, this is going to extend those benefits to you. This is also going to give $25 billion in. Let me see. Here we go. He wants to implement an emergency paid sick family and medical leave. Stabilize child care centers with $25 billion in emergency funding. Yes, $25 billion, big B, in emergency funding. He wants to give $440 billion in emergency funds for cash poor small business and communities. He has three major targets for the $400 billion for arresting the spread of COVID-19 and increasing vaccine capabilities. Over $1 trillion to assist family needing direct financial support. Where's the rest of it at? That's going to be stimulus 2,000. Financial aid includes expanding unemployment insurance by $100, bringing the weekly total to $400. So it was cut to 3 by President Trump. It was initially 6, cut to 3 by President Trump. He's going to bump it up to 4. Child tax credit for $3,000 per child instead of the $1,500. That's nice. I need child tax credit for the amount of money I pay. He's going to increase the nation's minimum wage to $15 an hour. Bad idea. Bad idea. A lot of y'all saying that you should be able to make a livable wage off minimum wage. But I agree you should make a livable wage, but I think it should be based on county. Not every county needs $15 to be a livable wage, if we're being completely honest. So let's not be stupid. This is going to crush small businesses because small businesses is not going to be able to afford to pay somebody $15 an hour to work a cash register. I'm sorry. It just ain't going to be able to happen. It's not going to be a thing. Not going to be a thing. So for small businesses, you pretty much shit out of luck. You shit out of luck because you're not going to be able to afford this kind of minimum wage with X amount of employees. So now people are going to lose jobs due to the minimum wage. Good luck with that whole thing. Now, I'm not complaining about me getting a pay raise because I don't make minimum wage. I make far beyond minimum wage, if I'm being completely honest. So I'm not concerned about getting a bump in my pay or whatever the case may be. I don't need that bump in the pay. It's always nice to get a bump in pay, but whatever. So let's see what else we got here. He's going to do 170 billion for updates to the K-12 school to ready for them in class instruction again. He's also going to do 50 billion for the COVID vaccines and contract tracing. Look at Johnson & Johnson single dose vaccine. Fuck Johnson & Johnson. They need not to be able to practice medicine again. So that's what's going to happen with that COVID relief package for the most part. I didn't see anything about the immigration, but we know he's going to just do that day one. Overturning Trump's actions. He's going to rejoin the Paris Climate Agreement. Climate change is most likely real, if I'm going to be completely honest, which I live in Western New York. It's a certain kind of weather we expect, and we have not been getting that. Most likely climate is changing, whatever. He's going to end the so-called Muslim ban on travel, so he's going to allow any and everybody from any and every country to come through. Whatever. We know that's going to shit on black people day one. So we already know about the COVID-19 response. Immigration, he's going to allow 11 million illegal immigrants to have a roadmap to citizenship. So they already broke the law, but he's going to reward them for breaking it. That's a fact. I know people like to get mad, call it xenophobia, and whatever the case may be. The fact is there are 11 million illegal immigrants or more in America. He's going to allow them to get citizenship even though they have broken the law. I wish I had that kind of leeway as an American citizen. Transgender rights. He's going to repeal the transgender military ban. I'm not against transgenders. Do what you do, but let's not do the fuck shit. Make sure you do what you do, but don't do the fuck shit. Y'all know what I mean by that. He's going to enact executive order to conserve 30% of Americans' land and waters by 2030. Basically, what he's going to do is make sure no private owner can own land and water. Why can private owners own land and water? That's another thing. But they can't own land, a certain amount of land and water, 30% of it, to make sure it's preserving the environment. Because the trees are our lungs of America, lungs of the globe, and if we keep cutting down the trees, it's going to fuck up the environment. They don't talk about how many trees are getting chopped down for whatever other reason. All right, so first 100 days, economic recovery. He's going to, like I said, he's going to initiate the Build Back Better economic recovery plan in February. And the plan is called Spending Trillions in American-Made Products. So they say. How are you going to do that when you have such an immigration plan? Climate. He's going to organize a Climate World Summit. He's going to push world leaders to be more aggressive in attacking climate change. That's going to be his goal. Repealing tax cuts. In order to pay for many of these wish list items, because you notice he said wish list, I want you to be very careful about the words they use. He said wish list items. He wishes he can get this shit done, but most of this shit he's not going to get done. So Mr. Biden said he would fight the repeal of the 2017 tax cut, which would repair action by Congress. He argued the tax cut favored wealthy Americans, including himself. Guns. After the FBI studies loopholes in the gun background check system, Mr. Biden said he would ask Congress to close the loopholes and also repeal liability protection for gun manufacturers, which would allow Americans to sue the gun industry if a gun is used in a crime. Biden also said he wants to restructure federal agencies that oversees guns laws. So this sounds like he wants people to be able to sue a gun manufacturer. So if white supremacist grabs a gun, shoots a black person, and the black person say, you know what, this gun shouldn't have been able to do all this. Dylan Roof shouldn't have been able to let off all them shots. He wants to essentially allow for people to sue that gun manufacturer, even though the gun manufacturer ain't got nothing to do with what somebody do with their guns. But he wants to do that. Violence. This is one of his checkpoints, y'all. As a senator, Mr. Biden authorized the Violence Against Women Act in 1994. He also did the three strikes laws, the mass incarceration. He's responsible for that, the Biden bill. That's him. The legislation needs to be signed into law again. Biden said one key effort in the update would include greater protection for transgender women. I said William, wow. Equality. Push to pass the Equality Act, a bill for more protection for LGBT Americans. And that's it for his first 100 days. You know how they was thanking all those black people? Telling all those black people, yo, thank you so much. You're the reason why we're in office. Thanks to black people saving America. Black people, you saved America. You saved it. You saved it. Well, black people, where's your reward? How come you don't get anything in the first 100 days? Black people, you get nothing. There was nothing that specifically said anything for black people. Oh, shit, I hit my mic. For black people, in the first 100 days, you get jack shit. These demonic people give you jack shit for the first 100 days after you were told you saved America. Explain to me what is going to be the benefit of a Biden-Harris campaign if they're going to do nothing for the very people that got them into office. Please tell me. Please tell me. Because I'm not understanding. Maybe I'm stupid. Maybe I'm ignorant. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe I'm slow. But I don't understand. How is it that the very people that you credit for getting you into office are the very people you're shitting on? Make it make sense. In the first 100 days, he will do jack shit for black people. Nothing. Nothing for foundational black Americans. We know he ain't doing shit. But for black people as a whole, within the first 100 days, Joe Biden plans to do nothing. Then he's going to stall, lose control of either the House or the Senate, tell you need to reelect him back in office in order to get something done. Black people, you have been tricked. We told you to let the Democrats crumble. You did not listen because you were scared of facing overt white supremacy. Now you got to look at covert white supremacy. Nothing was promised to black people in the first 100 days. Nothing. After they said you're the reason why he's in office, they gave you nothing in return. No reward. Congratulations. You played yourself. We got a long journey that we're going to take in this type of progress and what we're going to be talking about on Unorthodox Logic. You see the updated cover. You see the updated everything. We are going to get into the nitty gritty. We're going to break down these laws. We're going to break down these policies. We're going to break down these articles exactly the way they're supposed to be broken down. Only here on Unorthodox Logic with Marv. Make sure you are following UL with Marv on Twitter. Make sure you are following Unorthodox Logic with Marv on Facebook. Because you need to understand what we are up against. You're not paying attention, and only I'm going to be the person who's going to be able to point that out for you. You get nothing the first 100 days. Nothing. You're going to get nothing his entire presidency. There will be nothing specifically for black people. Even though his website that I broke down, even though his website said you were going to get something. He's giving you nothing as his thanks to getting him in office. He gives you nothing. Yeah, you asked for this. You asked for this. And this is what you get. I'll holler at y'all next show. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms. Make sure you share this. Share. I need y'all to share. And if you haven't already, rate us on your platform, whatever platform you're listening to. If they have a rating system, rate us so we can help the algorithm, so we can get our message out to more people. I truly appreciate that. I really do. I do. If you're interested in the Cashapp, or if you're interested in anything like the PayPal or anything like that, I'm going to post the links in the bio. I mean, in the description. I'm going to post it in the notes, so you can go ahead and click those if you decide you want to contribute. If not, that's no problem. At minimum, please just share it. That's all I ask. Get this over to somebody. Let them know. Say, hey, look, man, this is what you need to be hearing. He's about to go crazy this year. Not crazy in a bad way, but crazy in a good way. Please support this brother because he deserves it. I appreciate y'all listening. We'll be back.